Yeah.
Last time we had Danny Boy.
And prior to that, we had Beefy Manatee.
A back-to-back episode.
And of course, the guy working the cameras and everything in the back, AJ.
Yeah, we're looking at you.
And our guest tonight is FGCGabe.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Relax.
This is
My
all
goodness,
a fun
relax.
experience. We're just so used to this.
It's always people get so tensed up and be like, "Oh, I don't know what to say on the podcast." This is like we're just chilling. It just so happens that it's in front of a live audience and people are just watching. They're gonna be chiming in their thoughts or whatnot. Just don't focus on the chat. Just focus on the discussion. It's just us and the guy and AJ in the back. That's it.
Yeah, don't mind AJ.
You literally have nothing to worry about.
He's kind of scary sometimes.
I'm good. Don't worry.
As I said, once we have the conversations rolling, we start talking about the topics, and we start talking more about you because you're the main highlight of tonight's episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro.
All right,
Then
so,
you'll get comfortable. You'll start opening up. So, in podcast tradition, this episode of podcast, you'll be able to find it on audio hosting platforms like SoundCloud, iTunes, Amazon Music. Yes, we're on there.
Yep.
Spotify, we're on there. iHeartRadio, we're on there. I'm currently working on getting it on Pandora.
Fingers crossed.
It's a bitch of a process, but
who?
I'll eventually get there.
Yeah, but
who
We are going to be heard.
Yeah, we're going to be like on every single audio hosting platform. Or the best way to also find us on any audio hosting platform is just use Google and just Google South Florida Gamers Podcast. You'll find us on a lot of places.
Or both our names.
sounds difficult.
No, it doesn't sound difficult. It's very easy. It's too easy to do the right thing. So that being said, and then, of course, for those that do support the podcast via donations through Twitch or through subs, thank you guys so much. Anything helps, and it goes right back into the podcast to help strengthen it, grow it, expand it, so on and so forth. And that being said, we're going to go ahead and talk about our main guest today, and that is FGCGabe. Sure. So in our podcast, we have a tradition where we like to ask our guests, what is it that got them into gaming? Like, what is your gaming origin story? Like, what got you into video games? So the floor is yours.
Well, the first ever system that I ever touched was my brother's Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
And the first game that I ever played was TMNT, Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that game is
That was dope.
a tradition. Love it. But the one game that like truly got me to like games even more was because I didn't have the Super Nintendo back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine back in elementary told me about Smash Bros. And I was like I thought that game was like, that can't be, Mario against Metroid Prime. Like, that sounds like just some myth, legend that doesn't exist. When I first saw that game, that was when my love truly began for games. And then, like a year or two later, like when the GameCube came out, once Smash Melee was released, I had to jump on that because I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have the 64 at the time.
So you never played any Nintendo 64 games?
One of the few that another game that my friend had that I fell in love with big time was Pokemon Stadium, Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Good choice.
Legit game.
But as I said, the GameCube was, aside from Smash Melee being an amazing game, the GameCube had so many amazing games that existed on there. And as like another year passed, about there, I also got into the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Wow.
So you got into, I would say, the somewhat of the golden era of gaming where the main consoles at that time were the PlayStation 2, the Nintendo GameCube, and I believe the Xbox, which was also a fresh new console.
Yes.
And then, of course, you also had the Sega Dreamcast, which was on its way out. It was like kind of dying because it wasn't getting a lot of support. But you literally began gaming during the golden era, as I would like to call it, the golden era of gaming, where there was just everybody was gaming. Like you went to anybody's house, like either your friends had one of the consoles or two of the consoles. You'd be lucky to find a friend that had all of them. Like it's really, really rare.
Yeah, I didn't have that friend. I'm thinking about it now.
But for me, remembering back, I know most people had PS2s and GameCubes. That's where like their main two consoles to always have. And then very rare you'll have someone that have like a PS2 and an Xbox.
Yeah.
Very, very rare. But for the most part, most people were PlayStation 2 and GameCube.
Yes, I
because
remember.
the Xbox was still, fairly new to the market, but it was new. People
Right.
wanted to play it. We wanted to play games on it. Halo, Combat Evolved, amazing game.
Agreed.
Like, you can't go
Halo.
wrong with that.
Halo was amazing. It still is, but back in the day when it started, it was like a new era was coming.
Yeah.
So, but as I mentioned, I had, to me, one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. I don't know if you guys remember this game. This was made by Square Enix, like around that era. It was called The Bouncer.
The Bouncer? Yes, I've heard of The
I
Bouncer.
haven't actually.
Bro,
I have not.
I'm looking this up right now.
yeah, it's.
Wait,
It wasn't like it wasn't like well received by critics, but I personally loved it. And another one, which is a very popular JRPG called Final Fantasy X.
Ah,
Ooh,
classic.
That's a classic.
Yeah, those are like my all-time favorite games. Like growing up, starting like that was the games that meant so much to me. I know it sounds crazy, but those games are life.
Ah.
So let me ask you about the Nintendo GameCube.
Mhm.
Going back on that, what were like your top 3 favorite games on the Nintendo GameCube and why?
Okay, first Smash Melee, because literally, like I mentioned, it was the game that truly started my love for games,
Right.
especially fighting games. Hence
Right.
with the name FGCGabe. And just the fact that we see Link, Mario, Bowser, and all those popular favorites coming together and just fighting each other, it was something that I loved a lot. My second favorite GameCube game, I don't know if you remember this, it was called Turok.
Turok? Yes, I remember Turok.
Back when it was on N64 as well.
Even though that game was really violent and
Yes,
kind
it
of crazy
was.
for what it was, but
Oh yeah.
it was amazing. I loved it. But another one, it's a good question. Which is my third favorite one? I would have to say Rogue Squadron.
Star Wars War.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, like for its time, even though like now you see it now, it's kind of outdated now. But for its
Yeah.
time when it came out, it looked really good. And I'm also a big fan of Star Wars too. But just the way how the game looked, I was like, I have to get that.
Gotcha. Pretty interesting choices.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those are
Really
new for me,
interesting
actually.
choices. I know of Star Wars Rogue Squadron. You said the second one was Turok.
Turok, yeah.
I remember playing that on the N64, and then
Me
of course
too.
you also had Smash Melee.
Yeah.
The sequel to Smash 64.
Mhm.
It was new. It was interesting. New stages, new characters. You were just having a ball with that game, and it was very, very popular at the time when it came out.
Oh, yes.
Especially when you would go to school and you would see someone carrying a GameCube.
Oh yes, I remember
with
that.
the
Yep.
handle, whatnot, and
Yep.
the
Yeah.
first question you would ask the person is, "You got Smash Bros?"
Hey, Smash, like love it or hate it, like Smash is just a very popular. I don't know if they consider fighting game or beat 'em up. I don't know what it is, but it's a very popular game.
Yeah, I would say because it's 2D, I would classify it as a fighter, but it's more of a platform fighter.
Oh, okay, makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'm
Okay.
still laughing at the fact they still consider it a party game.
Yeah, that too. Like Nintendo
That's what they
still
originally classified it as.
considers it a party game, but it's competitive. Very competitive.
It's still.
I mean,
good.
It still sounds funny, a competitive party game.
I mean,
Yeah.
it literally became competitive simply because the community liked it so much that they
Yeah.
wanted something else.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be a part of that world,
Oh yeah, definitely. So moving on, did you? All right, for a gaming generation, all right, we already know the golden era of. We talked about the golden era. So what about the era after the online era?
The modern era, I would say.
No, I wouldn't.
Well-
the modern era would be PS4, Xbox One,
Really?
and Nintendo Switch. I would call that the modern
I was going to go
era.
towards 360 and PS3, but
No.
that's-
That I would say I would consider that era more of online gaming era
Okay, I can agree with
when
that.
online gaming really, really took off because
You're right.
Yeah, so
I would call it the golden age of online gaming, because those days.
okay, the golden age of
Those
online.
days.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that one.
The golden age, I like that.
The golden age of online era. Yeah,
right, so,
I agree with you on that one.
So, when I was kind of like going through like mid to late middle school, that's when I got into Xbox Halo. That's when kind of like my love for FPS games, because there was a time where I kind of wasn't playing fighting games that much anymore because FPS was kind of like popular at the time. And then Halo Part 1 was amazing, always is, always will be. And then you have Part 2, which in my personal opinion, I would say this, I prefer Halo 1 over Halo Part 2 in my opinion.
That's a little controversial, but
Yeah.
I can get behind it. I can get behind it.
I have a lot that I want to say, but it's kind of long for what it is. But moving on towards that, like one of the first games of FPS, like after I was kind of bored of Halo, I moved on to Modern Warfare, the first one, like around like the high school era, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, like you had mentioned, there was like an online era, I guess, kind of like you mentioned.
Yeah, as AJ put it, the golden era of online, because we had the golden era of gaming, which was the PS2, Xbox, the GameCube, and the Sega Dreamcast. And then moving from that era, we also had the PS3, the Xbox 360, and you had the Nintendo Wii and the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah, I remember those. Yes.
So that's another era of online gaming, because that's when online gaming become really, really popular during that time.
Oh yes.
So I would call that the golden era of online gaming. But I mean, for some people it was good. For others, problems and issues and whatnot. But share us your thoughts on that.
Personally, in high school, like, cause I graduated high school like around 2011. That's when if around that era you didn't play Modern Warfare 2, you missed out a lot.
Yeah.
Because Modern Warfare 2, even though there was toxicity, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And like around that time, like you had mentioned the Wii.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I didn't like the Wii too much because the online wasn't the best.
No, it wasn't.
It was terrible.
It was dog shit.
Because when Brawl came out, that was when they kind of tested the waters to see if people would play
the online portion.
Worst test ever.
Yeah.
Did not like it, in my opinion. Like the online was like, all right, I'm good. I'm not even touching that. But then when the Wii U came out, like they kind of like improved it. Even though again it wasn't perfect, but it was improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like to me, Modern Warfare 2, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
So what consoles were you playing at the time? PS3, Xbox 360, both?
At the time, I had the PlayStation 3, the beginning PlayStation 3, the fat consoles.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then funny fact is, I had so many friends that were trying to get me to play the 360 because Gears of War was there and Halo and all those.
Yep.
Yes.
Do not get me
That's
started on
that's where it comes my alley.
As much as I hate to say this, I never owned a 360.
Damn.
But I did see the games and I admired how they looked. Like
that plucked a heartstring on me, Gabe.
10 years later, I did play them though. But like like
Okay, good.
there were games that I was kind of like I already had a PS3 at the time and I was like, I'm not gonna make the time to invest in another console. That was just me.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, I completely understand that, because it was during that era. It was like you either get one or you get both.
Plus, we had the console war.
yeah. Like if you thought the console war was bad during the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube era, it was even bigger.
Oh yeah.
During the PS3 and the
I
Xbox
remember.
360
Oh,
era.
man. You remember that video a while back? They made the animated one,
Which one?
like the whole console war. Let me see who made it. Originally.
Oh my God! Yes, I think I know what you're talking
probably
about.
not remember,
Yes.
but
It was poorly animated, but let me see.
all I know is that, and this was also during the early stages of social media and whatnot, so there was a lot of shit talking going back and forth with PS3 guys, Xbox 360 guys, who had the best games. 360 guys saying that, well, our games run better on the Xbox 360 than it does on a PS3, which is true.
Flash gets.
Oh yeah, I know who they are. I've heard of those guys.
Yeah, they argue with PC being the master race. That never gets old.
Nah. But I just know that it was just very, very prevalent during that era, because it was just like you had to have either one or both. And then, of course, most multi-platform games, most people got them on the Xbox 360. Like if you were big into shooters, you were going
FPS,
straight
yeah.
for the Xbox 360.
That's what I
because
did.
that's where the fun is at. Granted, on the PS3, you had free online.
Yes.
But it was nothing compared to the Xbox 360. Though you had to pay the Microsoft point and you had to pay subscription service.
Subscription, yeah, that's when it started.
about
But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Xbox Live Party chats still remain undefeated.
Agreed.
Of
During
course.
that era.
100%.
That's why I still have my live account, just in case I pop into a
Like
party.
whether you were into shooters or whether you were into fighters, especially for fighting games during that era where now you can actually fight against people online wherever they are in the world or whatnot. And for me, I was really big into Street Fighter 4 and Mortal Kombat 9. So
let's go.
Granted,
Okay,
I
okay.
played those fighting games on the PS3.
Yeah.
Same.
Yo, yeah, same.
Yeah. I played
was
them
the
on the
opposite.
PS3 versus the Xbox 360, even though I should have played them on the Xbox 360, but I never got that experience to play them on the Xbox
Yeah, yeah.
360.
I got
on
you.
the PS3, voice chat, just, talking a whole bunch of shit back in the day. It was good, especially Street Fighter 4. Like, you want to see some toxicity in fighting games. Like, Street Fighter 4,
yes,
Street Fighter 4 was the game for it.
Oh my god.
The game.
I've been
Yeah,
hearing so
it's-
many complaints about it in the past. And
Street-
last week's episode.
Yeah, Street Fighter 4, like when Street Fighter 4 first started, it wasn't like, in my personal opinion, I didn't like it too much.
Right.
But like when they started adding Jury, then they added like I forgot a couple of other characters.
Oh, Super Street Fighter 4 where they
Yeah,
added
that-
Jury,
Super Street Fighter 4
yeah,
was the best one.
That
in
was
my opinion.
yeah, that's
Dudley, Adon,
yes.
DJ.
yeah. You're giving me flashbacks right now. I remember that was because
As we should.
Because the funny thing is like when I discovered Super Street Fighter 4, like I wasn't I wasn't paying attention to it, and then
Yeah.
one day I was walking by an arcade, which was over at Mall of the Americas. They used to be called Funorama, and then they changed the Final Rounds, and they've gone through many different names. But when I was walking by, I was like, I noticed Ryu and a lot of others like those popular characters in this, and I asked, what Street Fighter is this? And they said, oh, this is the updated Street Fighter 4, and I was like, I got to jump onto that.
Yeah.
It was such a good looking game for its time.
Yeah, at that time when Street Fighter 4 came out, it was like a revival or like a new birth of the fighting
Yes.
game community, because now this is the one game where you can finally play online with other people, because a lot of people back then were either playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or
Oh, yes.
Street Fighter Third Strike or Capcom versus SNK 2.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I
Oh
forgot
my
about
goodness.
that.
There. Oof.
Any one of those three fighters or all of them. For
Oh my
me, it
goodness,
was
they were-
Third Strike and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was
Let's
for me.
go. Okay. Okay.
So
good choices.
when Street Fighter 4 dropped, and I remember it, when that debuted, me and my homies, we got the game copies like midnight release. Went to GameStop, stood in line, got
How about
it.
that?
You
Okay.
had GameStop. Some of your GameStop employees had like setups available for people to play or whatnot. And I
Mm-hmm. Wow.
remember just being at GameStop up until like 2 in the morning just playing.
If you don't mind me asking, like when you played Street Fighter 4, who did you main? If you don't mind me asking.
When I first started, I started with C Viper.
Yo, my God.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I moved to El Fuerte.
Okay. Okay. Good choice. Good choice. Yeah.
And then-
Super dynamic cooking. I respect that.
Yeah. And then when Super came out, Dudley, all day.
The British boxer, of course.
Yes,
That guy
Dudley
is,
all day.
Yeah, he was kind of like for those who didn't like Balrog, because Balrog was very like
He was a charge character.
right. But like in the beginning when I played Street Fighter, I was so bad with charge characters, but I
Yeah.
wanted to main Balrog. So I was like I couldn't really get the hang of it, but when I saw Dudley, I'm like I'll try him out.
Yeah. Dudley's legit.
Man, I wish I got into Street Fighter.
Well,
It was a good.
I
game.
mean, it's still there, like it's
I'm just waiting for 6.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good choice. Good
Yeah,
choice.
and I think, and speaking of Street Fighter 6, I think that game's gonna also bring a new breath of life
yeah.
into the fighting game community, because a lot of people are gonna jump on it. Granted,
Oh,
right
yes.
now, Guilty Gear Strive is
It's
dominating.
taken over.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Guilty Gear without a question is
Yeah,
up there.
but when Street Fighter 6 comes out, and if
Mm-hmm.
it is really, really good, has a better launch than Street Fighter 5,
Oh, yes.
it's gonna
Mhm.
blow Guilty Gear Strive out the water.
Oh, it will.
For me, like, okay, this is kind of a little complicated how to like to
Okay.
talk about it, but Street Fighter 5, like when it first started,
Yeah.
I dropped that game completely because
Oh, a lot of people did.
because
Yep.
again, it was pretty bad that KOF 13, 12, 13, and then a lot of other fighting games started dominating the scene because of Street Fighter 5's failure. But as time continued on, as more and more people started realizing that Capcom was improving, because Monster Hunter World kind of revived Capcom a lot.
And then, of course, Resident Evil 7,
Oh yes,
yeah, did really, really good. Some of their remakes were also doing really good as well. Trying to get more people to having more faith into Capcom, because they screwed up
big time. Yes, I remember.
with Street Fighter 5 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh
They
my
screwed up
God.
very badly with those two games.
We never get MVCI.
But Capcom's on the right track,
Yeah, I remember.
and I think they're gonna finally deliver with Street Fighter 6. So,
What we've
fingers
been waiting
crossed for a very good, smooth launch with a healthy roster of characters. Balanced game, of course, not every fighting game is balanced because people are
Balance.
going to find exploits, but we're just hoping for really good things for Street Fighter 6. It's already looking good, and I just want to see more.
Balance of fighting games, that doesn't exist.
I know.
I'm sorry,
No,
man.
it cannot.
Just play DNF Duel, then you'll know. But like honestly, like Street Fighter 5 now is much more improved than what it was.
Yeah.
But just having that
Agreed.
bad launch kind of gave it like that reputation of like, we're not going to give you attention,
Yeah.
But seeing, like you said, like Street Fighter 6 literally feels like you're in the world of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, more people are definitely going to jump back on it, and hopefully it dominates.
We're hoping.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We always hope for the best when it comes to these games.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Question: is Ibuki gonna be in Street Fighter 6?
We don't know for sure.
Through the leaks, no. But if they do put her in the game, I'll be super happy because I love Ibuki.
There's always room
my
for
favorite.
DLC.
Yeah.
Because Ibuki was in Third Strike. She was in 4.
Yes.
She's in 5.
The schoolgirl outfit, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
5?
yeah.
Yeah.
Ibuki's in Street Fighter 5.
Wow, I did not notice. If I knew that, I would have played the game. But I didn't know that.
But honestly, like, again, I always hope for the best of games, and even though some of the games you hope for, they don't have the best. Like for example, Nick All Stars. Like you always try to hope for the best. That's all you can do, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. So to finish off with the eras of gaming or whatnot, we talked about the golden era and the online golden era. Now let's get to the modern era, like today.
Okay. Yes.
This is
Yes.
what I've been waiting for.
So what are your games that has your interest? We already know fighting games is one of them, but what specific games have like your interest in this modern era?
Oof, that's a really, really good question. For me, if this game was great today, I would say it. I am a huge fan of Battlefield, but the newer Battlefield was like, nah, doesn't cut it.
I knew where I was
Like,
going.
it doesn't cut it for me. Best Battlefield, in my personal opinion, Part 4.
You're telling this to the man who waited so long, and
Yes,
at
I know.
least 10 episodes we were talking about this.
Just it just
Prove
like
me
like,
wrong
it
and
was-
look at the back episode.
like for me, the trailer was amazing.
It was.
Like trailer wise, it was like, wow, this is
They
gonna be
even had that trick shot that guy
the
did.
trick. Yes.
forgot-
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his reaction video too, so I know it's amazing. But just the fact that you can have tanks literally rolling on the top of the building and like just like stupid things that happen there, I'm just like, all right, nah, I'm not gonna invest. I wouldn't even invest $30 in that game. That's how bad I was. Like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean,
And-
I can say, okay, I can give people a reminder of Battlefield 2042 because those that, tune into the podcast and, of course, follow me know that I am a huge Battlefield fan. I've been
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
since Battlefield 1943 on the PlayStation 3
Oh my
when that
God.
dropped.
Oh wow.
I've been,
yeah,
that's when I got into Battlefield. And then Bad Company 2 came in. I played that game religiously. Like,
who didn't? That game was amazing.
That was the best one.
yeah, that was literally the best one.
Part 2
because-
was amazing.
Yeah.
Bad Company 2, Part 2 was another
Bad
level
Company 2
amazing.
was just like everything was perfect. Gunplay was good. The graphics solid, even though it was on the PS3. And I, of course, got to play it on the PC. Even still
Wow.
looks good.
On PC, yeah, I remember. That's
The physics,
I've heard
what
good
you
things.
can do, like the destruction capability, like, and I've said this before. It's like for some reason with every Battlefield game, they're getting less and less destructive.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm just
I don't understand that big
like
time.
that messed with my mind. And then of course, you look at Battlefield Bad Company 2 when they did Rush, the game mode.
Yes.
Bad Company 2 Rush game mode was phenomenal. Like,
Was it really?
Yes, it was so good. Bad Company 3 follows suit. Okay, not too bad. Battlefield 4, it's all of just conquest.
Just Conquest, yeah.
Just conquest.
Yeah,
and then
'cause Rush-
all the other Battlefields just copied the same formula. I'm just like, why give us less? And I remember I made a video. I know this is your moment, but I gotta get this out there. I gotta get this out there.
By all means, go ahead,
I gotta
man.
get
Go
this out
ahead,
there.
please.
AJ, put the camera on me. I gotta get this out there.
That's how you know it's serious.
Oh my goodness.
You paid $70 for a game that has less content Then Battlefield 4, when that dropped. Granted, Battlefield 4, yeah, it had a very, very jacked up launch. It was completely broken and glitchy and whatnot.
But they had more content. Way more content. Yeah.
You had more weapons at launch. You had more vehicles at launch. You had more game modes at launch for $60. Granted, if you paid the extra $50 for the map packs, you got 4 map packs with an additional weapons, vehicles, whatever.
Everything. Yeah.
You look at Battlefield 2042, and it's just like, what the hell did y'all do?
It's trash.
Less maps. They're big as hell. Yeah, granted, I'm on a PS5, and I'm playing 128 players. Where they at? Where? I don't see them.
And another thing is like with Battlefield 2042, why did they add operatives? Like what? Why? You know, like you know what I mean? Like
the whole operator things.
It didn't make sense to me.
It made no sense. And then you try to tie it with, this operator's assault. This one's support. This one's recon.
Should have just done classes.
Exactly. You should have done classes.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Dear
what
God.
made no sense was the fact that everybody could use everything. Almost everything. Like the medic class was the class that you would revive people. Everybody can revive people now.
It doesn't make sense.
It made no sense.
Yeah, you know,
hold on, Silver. Someone just asked, did you ever get your money back? I never asked this question. So
I didn't get my money back.
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm living with that L, okay? Because I bought it digital.
I did the same thing with Back 4 Blood.
I bought it digital because I was so hyped for the game. I'm a huge Battlefield fan, and it's just like, bro, I would rather play Battlefield Hardline, and that had more content at launch than Battlefield 2042.
Battlefield 2042 is so bad that I'd rather play Part 5 than 2042. Like 2042 is garbage.
I'm just
saying something.
No, fuck. No, I'll just play Battlefield 1.
I'd rather just watch you guys suffer, honestly.
I play 1.
Yeah, Part 5 was bad, but 2042 was like nah,
Battlefield
really
5, bad. I bought that day one. No, I didn't buy it day one. I bought it like week 1 for $30 because when they had a very piss poor launch and they pissed off the fans.
Oh yes.
And I started seeing them price cuts. I was like, hey, boy, I'm coming in and getting this game for half off because that's exactly what it's worth. But 2042, my God, that disappointed the
that
shit
needs
out
to be
of me.
free to play at that point.
Yeah, it was,
But honestly,
even free to play wouldn't work sometimes.
You ain't wrong.
I'm just like, do y'all listen to the fans? I'm just saying, do y'all listen to the fans?
None of them do.
Some do, but not a lot don't, and that's the big problem too.
I would pay $70. No, I'd pay $100 for a remastered or a remake version of either Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, or put them both together and just sell it to me remade, so that way I can play it on the PS5 at a much higher resolution and frame rate.
Mad
just
respect.
Give me that.
I respect
just
that.
those 2 games and that's it. Don't give me that trash of 2042 and then. I know it's your time.
It's okay.
I know it's your time.
Silver, say what you got to say. Don't worry, bro. Go ahead.
They had the audacity to, after months later, to finally, hey, here's a new update. We're going to give you guys this big, huge-ass map and maybe about 2 weapons and this new vehicle and this new operator. That's it for months of just waiting for a new update. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Like, no.
Listen, just the fact that EA was like, oh, multiplayer is the future of gaming. It's like, just stop. No, just stop. No. just drop it, please.
It's all just a cash grab.
And my favorite, blaming Halo for their failure. It's like, please don't do that. That's on you guys. Like, no. Halo's not the best, but they did better than you. You know, own up to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Halo Infinite, they had their mistakes, but
it
at
was
least
still
they're better than Battlefield 2042.
oh yeah.
With the main game being $60 and online being free, I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the whole battle pass concept, I ignore that.
But so anyways, so as I said,
I apologize.
Nah,
for taking
don't.
your time.
First-person shooters, going back into what you got into, this is modern gaming era.
okay, so
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so
I apologize. I
Hey,
went
no,
on
listen.
I went on a Battlefield 2042
It did
rant.
entertain the chat, don't you worry.
listen.
That shit gives me flashbacks, man.
Listen. As I
modern
told you,
gaming
you say,
flashbacks.
listen, you say what you got to say. Don't worry, man. Like I agree with you 100%.
I can't.
But again, aside from all that funny rant you went through, like for me, as you know, fighting games is my number one. You know,
Right.
once like before we move on, like once I saw that like all those games were coming out, like Street Fighter 4, MK9, and Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3, that's when I said, okay, I love fighting games. FPS games, it was real, but I'm done. But anyways, I don't know if you guys have heard of this game. It's called Chivalry Part 2.
Yes, I know about it.
I've heard of it.
It's
yeah.
funny as hell to watch people just get hit by stupidity.
Even though it's a toxic game, and I've received a lot of hate messages on there.
That sounds right.
It's personally one of my favorite. Like outside of fighting games, like if I was never gonna play fighting games again, Chivalry 2 would be my number one.
Really? Why is that?
One, a lot of customizations.
Mm-hmm.
Two, even though the like.
It's knights.
Yeah, it's literally knights,
Medieval.
archers. It's basically like if you're someone that likes medieval, samurais, or anything like ancient times.
Mm-hmm.
And since
I wonder if it's still relevant today. I low-key want to try it out.
yeah, it's pretty fun.
I've always wanted to just go up in the chat and be like, square up, my fine brethren.
Yeah, it's listen. I remember in one of the matches of Chivalry 2, I was an archer and I sniped a dude right in the face, and the guy literally hate messaged me saying, "Kill yourself." I was like, "Why?" You know, like, bro.
You have already died, my good sire.
yeah, like you're.
I will be talking so straight English.
but aside from that, like it's like personally one of the funnest online experiences that I've really gone through. And another one that was, I don't know. There's so many that I like.
MMOs, puzzle, more shooters.
Platformers.
I mentioned
Horror
this.
games.
I mentioned this earlier. Final Fantasy was to me one of the best. Like for me growing up, Final Fantasy X had so much that I felt that I was like, wow, this is a really deep story. I never played the original 7 of Final Fantasy, but I did play 7 remake, and it's phenomenal. Great
Newer
music.
Concept. I can understand that.
Great music. The voice acting is, even though like the original voice actors from Final Fantasy, like George Newbern, he was the voice of Sephiroth. He wasn't back.
Yeah.
But the fact that the cast sounded pretty good, just everything about it was great. Even the music.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. So overall, your favorite genres are fighters,
Shooters,
and JRPGs.
Yeah. I mean, RPGs, like, don't get me wrong, they're good, but JRPGs have more of a meaning because, like...
They hit different.
Yeah, they hit different. It's not just a story of, like, hey, they're going to go save the day, whippy, you know, like, it's something deep about it, you know?
Yeah.
And even though, let me tell you, Final Fantasy is super long. Like,
Yes, it is.
Yes,
they are
it is.
super long games, but every moment feels magical. Like, every moment feels like, wow, this is something that I can remember for life.
Absolutely. All right. So our next topic is, what are your thoughts on the current generation of gaming?
Oof.
I have
it's a-
so much that I want to say about the
It's a
current
very
generation.
open. It's a very open question.
Yours.
You can break it down. You can divide it to how you like
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Number one, I will say the best thing about this gaming genre is gaming era, is the fact that you don't have to go to arcades all the time to enjoy the experience of a game. Because for me, as I mentioned, I love fighting games, but sometimes life happens and you're not always able to make it to a tournament. You know, sometimes you can't go to an arcade. And just the fact that there's online gaming, even though there's subscription fee, but even though there's online gaming, like, you're able to fully experience the potential. Like, aside from people rage quitting and lag switches and all that problem that goes on, and hate messages and all.
Yeah.
But again, it's fun to be able to experience the competitiveness, even though you can't make it to a place sometimes.
That's true.
Another thing that I do like about the modern is, like, just the fact that single player games, to me, some single player games, especially God of War, they're phenomenal. Freaking beautiful. See, he agrees with me.
Yeah, 100%.
He has it tattooed. That's also why.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Ragnarok.
Bro, that is so sick. Yo, me too, bro. Even though I was trying to get a PS5, but Senpai knows the story. When I tried to get the PS5, I took the biggest L, and it was a big slap to the face because
Wait.
buying stuff from eBay is not the best sometimes.
Oh no.
Don't tell me you got 2 PlayStation 2s
No,
or a PS3 combined.
no, the PS3 and the PS2 do a fusion. That's not. I'm kidding. But just the fact that some of these games have such amazing meaning towards it. That's something that I do like. My gimmick, like the only thing that I'm not too crazy about today in today's modern thing, is the fact that some gaming companies depend too much on DLC.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
Again, DLC
Or
is
Battle Pass.
or battle pass
Yep.
or loot boxes, which I hate loot boxes. But the thing about that is like, again, I understand like, hey, look, it's a different era and developers need to, keep everything going and this and that. But just I don't like the fact that some companies are kind of taking advantage of the game is nowhere near complete, but we're going to charge you $60. Or in Senpai's case, like 2042, they charge $100 for the game and it's not even ready yet. So that's the thing. Again, modern, even though there's a lot more things that have gone on and a lot more potential, I just feel that sometimes developers kind of go backwards instead of going forward.
Oh yeah.
Well said.
Reminds me a whole lot of Bungie,
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Destiny 2 now?
Hoyoverse, all those games.
I mean, for me, like just the fact, another great example, Nickelodeon All Stars was like, oh, we're gonna release a game with no voice acting and a small roster, and I'm just like, you're getting kind of like you're getting kind of lazy,
Yeah.
Like if you really want to dominate in the FGC scene, you have to like wow the audience.
And Nick also had rollback netcode, which not many games have,
That is true,
which
But-
is awesome.
but again, like if more games have negativity than positivity, they don't last.
That's true. I know. It beat Smash before it got netcode. And
Yeah.
even KOF has a weaker one.
Yeah, KOF is something else. Let me tell you,
It's just straight buns.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that, but that's serious.
something like that. But so yeah, like as I said, the modern games potential is great. Just use that potential.
Now, where would you want to see, like, let's just say 3 years from now, where would you want to see gaming be 3 years from now? With how things are going currently in this current generation, where would you want to see gaming 3 years from now? Like, what improvements that you would like to see?
That's a really good question, honestly. I just want games to feel completed. Like I want games like, again, DLC is great and keeping the game going is awesome, but I want the game to feel like a $60 game. Because if
Right.
you're going to charge $60, I want it to feel $60.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's well
Now,
said.
what would classify as a $60 game or a full complete game?
Well, it depends on the genre. Depends on, like if it's fighting games, like max characters. So, you don't want to drive the players to learn so much of different tier lists and all that, like to make it easier. I would say to have like a good roster of characters, like about like 25, 30 at least, a game at least.
Now,
And-
that's without DLC or with DLC included?
For me, because since I like the roster size of Smash Bros, I would say for me, without DLC,
Without DLC.
I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
But if you, like, for some reason, like Guilty Gear Strive, even though it doesn't have a big roster, like the game feels complete.
Right. Because you also have not only just the characters, but there's so many features, especially in
Yes.
training, in the training mode, where you can really, really go in depth with the game and learn even more with the game. Like, out of all the training modes of different fighters, I feel like Guilty Gear Strive is the best one out of it.
Yes.
Because there's so many options on to perfecting your gameplay, learning how to play the game, what options that you can use, what you can do, how you can use the computer AI, how to have them react, and of
Yeah.
course, one of their previous updates, the combo recipe, where you can do a combo and save it as a recipe, and then and have other people check out your recipe and try to implement the combo for themselves.
Yes.
And I've seen some pretty crazy recipes for
Oh,
certain
yeah.
characters. Like, whoa.
I mean, again, like I mentioned, you want the games to feel complete.
Right.
That's
As a whole.
Exactly.
Like you feel like you got your money's worth. You feel like you can tell your friends about it, a story, or you
Yeah,
feel
like-
like it's a part of. You can relate to something, or at least just enjoy the game, and appreciate its design.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like for me, to me, and I might get some heat from AJ, but when I first started Destiny Part 1, in my personal opinion, I didn't feel the game was complete. I didn't like it.
You know.
No, you're
that-
right though.
That's
I
agreeable.
agree. No,
actually,
I
actually, that's
You
not
guys
bad.
agree? You guys agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could actually agree with this too.
I agree.
Part 2
don't get me started. With that.
improved from Part 1, but I still felt I was like,
All this DLC and every year
I
pass.
just, exactly, right.
I'm talking. I'm looking at you, AJ.
Look at you.
Yeah, looking at you.
But like again, aside from because I played Warlock. Warlock was my number one for me.
Yes.
But I just felt like since the game was so
Try
much.
hard.
Yep. Yep.
But
I'm a Titan main, so it is what it is.
Hey.
I'm a Warlock as well, so I have no say.
listen, no offense.
Too fucking try hard.
Hunter
Listen-
Master Race.
listen,
That's all I'm
I-
gonna say.
But I act like a
Hunter
Titan.
Master Race.
Sweat.
Listen, no offense. Titans are even bigger tryhards. No offense, bro.
Yeah, definitely Destiny 2 was lacking with just a story that maybe lasted a good like 9-12 hours.
like the thing about Destiny 2 is even though the world felt a little bit alive, but I still felt like there's so much more you guys can do.
Yes.
Like learn from World of Warcraft. Learn from those guys. Like even though with some of the things they have that are kind of controversial, but
Yeah.
hey, like
The emotes are goated. I can say that for Destiny
yeah,
2.
exactly. Yeah.
The state of the game right now, for Destiny 2,
hmm
it's okay. Well, right now it's a drought. You don't even want to play it because it's
Yeah.
it's really boring. The season's whatever, but at least the last DLC, Witch Queen, it brought a lot of interesting things. They they revamped the Void subclass,
Yeah.
so it got super
Oh.
fucking cracked.
No, I agree.
And the story.
Mhm.
The story was great. I want to say one thing that they have definitely been improving on is
Yeah.
the story.
No,
But they still got a lot of work to do.
No, I mean, again, I agree. Like, it's an improvement from part one, but just the fact that literally, I don't remember the characters' names too much. Like, I remember, like one of the speakers, like the guy that had the mask, that he disrespected the Cabal leader disgustingly. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Space
Damn.
Bane.
yeah,
Yeah.
I call him Space Bane.
yeah, he was. like,
Oh,
but yeah, like, again, I just like I mentioned, I just want games to feel complete. Nothing more, nothing less.
What about grinding in Destiny 2? Because there were hours when I remember playing Destiny 2 and I would be grinding for hours, and then it was just
Yep.
like, at a point, especially for me, it was just like, okay, I'm tired of grinding for this.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I understand. I would legit just sit on the edge of a map, just sit down and just chill out, like after grinding so much.
Like for me, like if you want me to get me back into playing Destiny 2, give me the mayhem mode where your super goes charged up
they
almost.
still have that. It's like a weekly rotator though. You kind of gotta wait.
Like the Crucible is the only time I'll play Destiny 2. Like that's the only
too.
interesting thing for it because I like to shit on people in that game.
The Crucible, we don't speak about that here.
future stream.
Fuck the Crucible.
The
Clip it
Crucible,
just for notes,
the
just in
Crucible's
case we decide to
so
back out.
toxic. Let me tell you.
I'm gonna be meleeing bitches.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now.
I'm a warlock that just made that melees.
Crucible's the worst.
Yes, it is.
It
really
that's-
is.
That's
I stopped playing Crucible. First I dropped Gambit. At first it was cool.
Yeah, Gambit was cool.
Then,
Yes, it
then I
was.
dropped it. I'm like, fuck this shit. This, whatever. And then Crucible just kept getting worse and worse.
yeah. That's why
And I don't even want to get into the details of it because I'll be here for hours.
I know you
But
would.
Crucible, I dropped it. So all I do now is raids and dungeons, and that shit's mad fun at least.
I mean, again, like when you grind in a game, you want to try to like, move up in the game. But when it's just grinding, and you're not moving anywhere, it's like
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
not fun anymore.
yeah.
I'll say this.
Talk
Dear
to me.
God.
One game that definitely made me appreciate the grind of Destiny
Uh huh.
is Genshin Impact. The grind for that game
I knew this
is
was coming.
so fucking stupid.
Oh,
You would be like, you know what? Destiny's not that bad. Destiny's not that bad.
like
Running Vault of Glass like 136 times is not bad compared to the fucking drop rate on Genshin Impact. That shit
I've
pisses
heard
me
the stories.
fuck off.
Now,
And I'm telling you right now, it is way more expensive than Destiny will ever be.
Yes.
Yes.
Even
Fuck that
though it's a
shit.
free to play, like they get more expensive than regular games. I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
I know. listen,
that.
listen, you're talking to a guy that spent $300 on League, so I know.
Sam,
But
Spent 500 in Apex Legends. Don't at me.
I've only
Yeah,
spent
yeah.
$20. That's it.
I don't even want to talk about how much
I mean, the only thing good that I'm gonna say about Genshin Impact is the character designs are massively beautiful.
Hey, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Listen, I remember I forgot the character that you cosplayed
no
at
say,
SuperCon. I forgot what character.
Arataki Ito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. All their designs are awesome. They're badass. They're cool and all. But I'm just like, is it really worth spending God knows how much money on that game? I'm like,
It's
nah.
a waifu simulator. That's what that game is.
Yeah, but
It's a waifu simulator.
I personally wouldn't spend any money. I'm just saying.
Hey man, good. Good.
Jesus.
Stay away from that game. Fuck that game.
Like, listen, to me, the reason that I got into League of Legends was because during my college years, my friends were just playing League nonstop.
Right.
And there were champions that I was like, oh, I like this guy, I like this one, I like her, I like this, like. But just the fact that I spent $300 on such a really toxic community, I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing this again.
So, since we're on current generation gaming, how do you feel about Project L?
Yeah, that got announced. Project L going free to play.
Oh, so those who do not know, Project L is basically a League of Legends fighting game that's going to be coming out. Well, they haven't had an exact date, but they've shown characters, assists, and such. But it's coming out soon, but I don't think anyone's ready for it. They might get so pissed off they'll go to League of Legends. Or vice versa.
I mean, again, because we have games that, like, for example, an amazing, actually 2 games that come from different genres is Grand Blue. Like, the fact that they made their game work, it's fun.
Yeah.
And games like DNF Duel, I forget, they're called Dungeons and Fighters. I think?
Dungeon Fighter.
Yeah, Dungeon Fighter. Like, they could work if they do the right thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes they want to do something so different that it ends up sucking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Project L, I'm not going to give any kind of criticism until the game releases.
Yeah.
But just make it work. That's all it is.
My biggest concern with Project L, just learning about it, and cool, it's going free to play. Cool.
Yeah.
My biggest concern: can we play offline?
That's tricky.
Yeah, that's another.
Can we play the game offline?
That's a real question.
And the thing is, like, if you're gonna have it based online, like, is the online gonna actually work, or is it gonna be like, or is it gonna be like, hey guys, it's a free game, go ahead, but hey, if you want it better online, give us $60. Like, no, don't do that. Like, we just,
they will.
that's what I'm hoping they don't do.
And that's just like my thoughts on it, like, because we already know most free to play games you can't play them offline.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah, I know.
They're just inaccessible. So
Sooner or later,
with a fighting
multiverses.
game, it just makes you wonder, like, can I play this game offline?
Yeah.
No internet? Because if it is, cool, then this could be a really great thing.
If it
not,
doesn't, that's
then
bad.
Yeah, then that's bad, because on a competitive level, let's just say, like, here at Flynn's or CEO or whatnot, where majority of your time playing in bracket is going to be offline.
Exactly right.
How's this going to translate? You're going to have them all online?
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense, honestly. Like, why complicate it when you can make it so much easier?
Like, I know, fighting game players, they would like to have a fighting game that's free to play, but you also have to, keep it in the back of your mind.
Right.
How is this going to translate well for offline play? And then, of course, with online, of course, most fighting games coming out now are going the route of rollback netcode.
Yes.
But not all rollback is created equal.
Oh, yes, I agree 100%. I agree. Because, again...
Ethernet.
Yeah. And to me, one of the most annoyingest things is, like, when you play these games online, like, if you're going to use Wi-Fi, I understand 100%.
Yeah.
But please, for the love of God, make sure it works.
Yeah.
Like, stop using...
Internet test.
Exactly. Like...
Or just plug in Ethernet. Just straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not
I
not
just
that
learned
hard.
about this year, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, like buying an Ethernet cable, it's not that expensive.
No.
Get that,
Unless
please.
you get like a 60-foot long one, that's a whole different series. If they make that.
I mean...
Actually, I'm going to look this up now.
I mean, again, if you're going to play one of those games online, you want the best connection possible, unless you're trying to be one of those try-hard, jackasses that try to, like, find a way to, like, cheat the system.
Yeah.
But please, just get an internet cable.
Exactly. So, I know, kind of, straight off the topic or whatnot, but just to get back to it, and then of course, end on that note.
Okay.
Is what improvements that you wanted to see for games in the next 3 years? I think we covered fighting games, but what about like other genres like shooters and JRPGs? If you want to give some quick points.
Improvements.
Like, what would you like to see improved?
Ooh.
That is a really good question, actually. Let me see. I just want games to feel like games.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong. Some of these games that are based off QTE games, like Detroit Become Human and the Telltale games, there's so many that I can name. I understand that some people enjoy the game for its story, but at the same time, I want games to feel like games.
Right.
Like, I want games to, like, okay, you can have your moment, like Final Fantasy that has its dialogue and its voice acting and, you know, its incredible music and whatnot. But at the same time, like, I want it to feel like I don't want the game to just be full on talk, then 5 minutes action. Like, for example, Last of Us 2. But, you know, like so many of those games, like I want those.
That game, I love it.
Yeah. Last of Us 2 is like, oh, look at this amazing combat. Combat's like only 30, 40 minutes. Why would I want to spend $60 on a game that has not the longest combat? You know? But I just want games to feel like games. And I know Waluigi mentioned this like in his episodes way back in the day. But you want games to feel like games.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well said.
Fair enough. All right, so our next topic is what games are you looking forward to this year?
We talked about Ragnarok.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok.
God of War Ragnarok, even though, like I said, I was trying to get it for PS5, but if it comes out I don't know, is it going to be PS4?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So for sure, like, I'll definitely jump onto it because, don't get me wrong, Kratos is a beast. And the fact that he's not the most perfect dad, but he's still a badass no matter what.
I agree.
Love him or hate him, he's amazing. What are other games that I want? I don't know. Street Fighter 6. Don't get me. Even though, like, I'll be straight up honest with you, I don't know if you've watched the trailer. I think you have, right?
For which game?
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah,
Like all the trailers.
I've watched all of them.
Even though, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the whole open world thing too much.
I mean, I don't care for it
Yeah, you know, like,
either. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm in it just for learning the character and learning the matchups.
Right, exactly. But like, the fact that they've improved so much from what we've seen from Street Fighter 5, like Street Fighter 6 is, and hey, listen, Mommy Chun-Li's in there too. Like, what can go wrong in there, you know?
Oh, dear God.
What can go wrong?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Tekken 8.
That's if it gets announced.
I have so much I want to say about Tekken, but
Barada quit playing.
I mean, with the amount of quitters and lag switchers that are online, who wouldn't, you know, like,
Okay,
that's
good
something,
point.
that's something you got to keep in mind about. But again, even though Tekken's fun, like, yeah.
Okay. All right. So our next topic is what does gaming mean to you?
3 things.
Go
One,
on.
the community, because I love the more people that join a game, the better it is, the more exciting that it becomes because you're playing against different skill sets and meeting different people. Mm-hmm. And the fact that sometimes we've had players like, because again, even though I've never been to CEO or EVO or any of those like
Bigger
grand tournaments, there are players from Japan, players from South Korea, players from South America, like so many different players that
All
go
over the
there.
world.
That's always cool.
Yeah, like, it's always good to meet and greet, and, you know, of course, it's always good to see old faces too, of course, but just the fact that there's players from around the world that play this fighting game you share an interest with thousands and maybe millions of other people. Second, the competitiveness, because the fact that, you know, you want to feel the excitement of like how do I say this? Like you want to be able to like enjoy the thrill of it.
Yeah.
Because if there's no thrill, you're just playing the game and it's like,
The
it's boring.
adrenaline, the rush, the excitement, the feeling. There's a lot of ways you can describe it, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
And for me, like, just the art of the game, like the way that it looks, because don't get me wrong, games like Guilty Gear, Dragon Ball Fighters, and all those like anime-based fighting games, they, like, the funny thing is, like, if you tell me right now that it's a show, I would believe. Like, if you take off all the HUD, I'll be like, oh, it's a show, it's pretty cool. But if it's such an amazing look for a game,
Right.
you know. And last but not least, hey, don't get me wrong. Listen, we all love this moment. We love it when people trash talk. We love it when people go on Twitter and start talking trash to each other. We're all that, you know how it is.
So you enjoy the communication within it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of events that happen.
And all the pop-offs and whatnot, and all those crazy things that happens. But hey,
You need to get to a major. You need to be a CEO at least the next year.
I tried, but life, you know.
Nah, you gotta plan in advance.
All these
Like,
quackings, I hear ducking. Wow, I sound like Herbs. I sound like Herbs right now, but I twisted, man. Please clip that for later.
Listen, man, you just listen. Like even for me, like I've always like previous years, I've always wanted to go CEO. I just never like made the plan to go.
Yeah.
And 2021, when I think during the summer they announced CEO 2021
For December, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, for December.
God.
Yeah.
And I remember me and Waluigi were talking about. I'm like, bro, we need to go to this shit.
Yeah.
We need to go to this
course.
shit. We need to experience it for the very first time.
This was before I used Twitter.
Yeah, and of course, before like Waluigi ever went to like a major fighting game competition, it was our first time.
Yeah, we jumped in blindly.
Yeah, and
we were still not ready.
After that experience, is like we're definitely going to the next one.
Oh, the one in Daytona, of course.
Yeah, we legit planned it properly.
Yeah,
No,
and we made sure we planned it properly.
We
like,
communicated and everything because
Yeah.
we went separate multiple occasions.
Yeah, like I think we started planning for it like around March,
Yeah.
April. And then, once everything was confirmed, it was like, all right, June time, we already know what's up. Confirming everything.
Who's going? Who's not?
going?
Yeah, right,
who's
right.
not going?
Yeah, we
who's
had a house with 10 people in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds lit. No
Yes,
joke.
it was. Most people were playing Smash while we were out. Like, I know it's your time to shine.
No, guys, by all means.
I know, I love
go,
saying
go.
that because Silver got me into that. Like, we legit were at CEO 18 hours almost every day,
Wow.
except for day 3.
Hey, man, hey, mad respect.
Even
That's,
B40 event, we were up for 18 to 20 hours straight.
like, honestly, I don't remember whose story was it that I saw, like, because I was watching both your stories and, like, other different people that
Probably
went.
me.
Yeah, I watched.
Either me or Silver. Like, we.
I remember, like, when I saw one of your stories, like, the fact that you guys were playing Capcom versus SNK2, that was already, like,
Oh, yeah, that was mine.
wow.
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, that was Waluigi's.
Yeah, Nightbreed, Miles, we had,
Sinbad.
and Dylan's.
I'm not going to
DJ
lie to you.
Pac-Man.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, don't get me wrong, the fighting games now are amazing. But Capcom versus SNK2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 were like,
Bro, Nightbreed brought his own PC to my TV. He plugged that in.
hey, mad respect.
Yeah.
That's a true fight game fan.
I was crying of laughter because I was not expecting that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like going to majors, it's a definite
I
experience.
know. I was so sad. I know.
It is a must. It's a must experience type of thing that you need to go to. And if you can't make, even though CEO Talk was coming up, and me and Waluigi, we already made plans for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Full snap.
Yeah. So next year, CEO 2023. Hopefully you
And you.
y'all at CEO 2023, because I'm gonna tell you right now,
And you, the viewers.
you're gonna have the most amount of fun, and you're gonna be like so tired. You're just gonna be like, you don't want it to end. Like,
Oh, we took-
like our day 1, day 2.
Your day
and-
zero was pretty cool too. I
Yeah,
saw.
our day
yeah,
zero was
yeah,
good.
like,
I took over a whole PlayStation because I was kicking ass, and then I wanted to play a rock paper scissors tournament.
Yeah.
wow.
Like day 1 and day 2, which was day 2 Saturday, which was I think one of our longest days because
Yeah.
we got to the venue at 10 in the morning because I had pools at 10 in the morning in Tekken, and that's of course that's when I played on
Youch.
stream.
How about
I
that?
did not go back. We did not go back home until like maybe 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were there that
Funny.
whole.
Yeah.
It's really funny. You,
Especially me driving. I'm like, I got this.
it's really funny that you talked about you playing on stream because I remember the picture that you took yourself. Somebody in the comments, I'm not even joking, put, "Oh my God, Lord Raiden is playing Tekken." I was
Yes,
dying
I
so
saw
hard.
that.
I
I
was
saw
dying
that.
so hard of laughter. And then of course you with your nice shirt and whatnot, and I'm just like, senpai.
I was on stream like 3 different times. I'm glad I didn't mention it because I was just like, peace every single time.
No, even if you get bodied, you're still
I
having
did
a
get
good time.
bodied.
Yeah.
But I lost to one of the best gold Lewis main, so I wasn't against myself. I just learned a lesson of always having headphones on me. That is a lesson I learned.
We don't,
yeah,
we, don't,
like-
we don't speak of Go Lewis here. I remember my PTSD. Okay.
We gotta find that clip later.
Nah, no,
But
we
yeah,
don't.
like as I said before, like it's an experience that you're never gonna forget. Like once you experience it once, you're always gonna want to go to a CEO.
Yeah, of course.
You're always gonna want to go to majors if you're able to make the travel to go to them, because it is definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of people that you meet. And still to this day, keep some kind of contact with them, and the amount of
you-
connections that you can make while at these events, it's definitely well worth the money. You feel like
Yeah.
my money was well spent here, and I'm gonna always keep coming to this because
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I forgot who said it in one of the podcasts, like you can still be a part of the FGC and not be a competitor. Like
No, I
you could be,
agree. Right,
yeah,
right.
you could be a TO, you could be a video editor, a content creator.
I think I mentioned this briefly. I mentioned this briefly on maybe combo breaker cast.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yeah.
I feel like Convicted of Fun
Yeah.
would say something like this.
You can have so many different hats on in the FGC, even if you're not a competitor.
definitely sounds like
But
Ryan.
when you go to these major events, because that's where everybody's gonna be at.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Of course. That's where all types of dogs will be at the top, middle, sometimes bottom. You know, like
Just people who want to view the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course, it's also like if you're a competitor, it's also a good way for you to level up because now you get to play with so many different people and gain so much matchup knowledge.
And knowledge,
that
right.
when you come back to your local where you compete at locally, you're gonna start dominating and be like, whoa, what happened to you? You must have got that power up from CEO or something or a combo breaker
Oh yeah,
or Evo.
it's worth it sometimes as long as you're able to put in the work and you're able to sit down and be like, okay, what did I screw up on? What am I gonna try? If you can watch a replay of your match, that's even better because you're gaining knowledge about it. It's all about number one, having consistency, having a good time, and just having the willingness to learn.
And most importantly, being safe. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, safety, of course. Of course.
Be 100% safe, and if you're with a group, let the people in your group know where you're gonna be at, where you're gonna go, whatnot. Always keep communication, no matter what.
I made a group chat with like 9 people.
What can I say? The ocean is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
No, Daytona Beach is just scary.
Yeah, Daytona is.
we didn't encounter anything. Thank God.
We did. We did not.
Our luck was incredible.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Our experience wasn't bad at Daytona.
Not at all.
Because we literally spent majority of the time
Together,
in the venue.
We followed what most people did in layman's terms.
Yeah, because so many people have talked about CEO, especially in Daytona, that they don't like the area because of X, Y, and Z.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we
I've
made
heard
sure
stories.
to avoid that.
Undirectionally, we avoided it as best as possible because
Yeah.
I think we left less than 500, 600 feet away from the events to where we got food, then came back, went to the hotel room that was nearby.
Yeah,
We planned methodically. That's how good we were.
yeah.
I mean,
the curfew sucked.
But if you go to the one in Orlando, you'll definitely love it.
Oh, hell yeah.
listen, I mean, even though I didn't come to the last Fighter Fest, but the other Fighter Fest, they've all been amazing. Every single one of them.
It's the simulation of a major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
A small scale, but
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely not easy to plan. I'll tell you that much. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Fighter Fest Season 4, granted, it was a huge success, broke a
It
new
was definitely
record,
taxing.
but man, it is like,
It's tough.
It's tough, and of course, it's very taxing as well,
And expensive.
especially on me. Like,
And expensive.
yeah,
I've heard
and
stories about it.
expensive.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yes, it was.
And honestly, like, I will say this, like, again, I didn't come to the last Fighter Fest, but for the other ones, I personally, for me, I'm grateful that you showed everybody, hey, look, we exist. Come on down.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember Fighter Fest for Strive, Juicy Duelist Alexander.
Ooh, okay.
He came through.
Yeah, he came through, and that was a huge surprise.
I didn't
Wow.
click until you told me afterwards.
Yeah, because he runs Juicy's up in Orlando or whatnot.
Okay.
And I told him that the creation of Fighter Fest was literally my version of what Juicy's would be.
Okay.
Because Juicy's, they run theirs every month. So I was
okay.
like, instead of running Fighter Fest every month, just every 6 months.
Every 6
And it
months,
would just
right.
be like something on a local scale where to people who can't experience a major,
Mm-hmm.
like they don't have the funds to go to a major or whatnot, they can at least experience it locally here at Flynn's.
Right.
And I tried to give them that experience. I tried to deliver upon it, make have the stage, the lights, everything. A lot of people show up.
The hype,
Yeah.
everything you want.
Like it's all there. Like
Oh, yeah.
what you would experience at Fighter Fest, you'll experience it 10 times more at a major.
I heard. Yeah.
It's the simulation.
Yeah.
Listen, I remember you bullying me to go, but I was so disappointed that I couldn't go. I'm like,
Oh,
Rip.
we're still gonna bully you to come to the next ones. We're planning.
Yeah.
We're still
of
going.
Which is going to be in
Don't you worry.
January. I haven't picked a date, but it's going to be in January.
no, it's not just that. Like, at the same time, don't get me wrong. I enjoy those games, but at the same time, I want to experience the thrill. I want to experience the excitement of it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
one
yeah,
of those things you
definitely.
like for gaming, or what like gaming means to you. That's
Mm-hmm.
a good way to put it.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so our next topic, you had to be there moments.
Ooh.
What moments that you would like to describe that you had to be there? to
Online,
experience it?
offline, something when
Can
you
I
were
say
younger.
can I say about 2 to 3 moments? Can I say?
Yeah,
Of
go
course,
for it.
It's your time.
Okay. Moment number 1 for me was when I played you in Fighter Fest in part 2. Both Fighter Fests, both, because I will be.
I fucking knew it.
I will tell you one thing that you did for me that I'm really grateful for was learning against Shao Kahn, because Shao Kahn, every time he played me, he would use me like a wrecking. He would just wreck me every time. So going up against you, I learned how to go up against Shao Kahn. No, like I'm not even joking. Like I learned a lot against Shao Kahn and just how much cheese that SOB can make.
You learned to mix up, is what I heard.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Other Shao Kahn players are not cheesy. I'm cheesy.
That's not true. They are all cheesy. All of them. They're
Really?
all cheesy. You're talking to a guy that plays online a lot.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
They
Fair
are.
enough.
Okay.
Fair
Maybe
enough.
the ones that I run into and the ones that I
You're
played
good,
at
you're
CEO, they're not cheesy, but I'm cheesy as
They were
hell.
dead serious.
CEO is a different. That's a different level of Shao Kahns, but
Yeah, that's pine
online
cheese.
they all do the same thing. They try to keep you in the air. They throw the damn spear. If I sit down and talk to you how much cheese I go through, I can go on and on about it.
Dear Lord.
But and it's not just the first one we had. It's also the both that we had. Like that's why I'm kind of like I'm hoping we get a third one, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's kind of dead, so you may not get that opportunity.
It'll be the next game.
If 12 comes out, if Shao Kahn is in there, we have to do it.
Listen, I main Shao Kahn because they took out my boy Ermac, so Ermac is my top main because I've been using him since.
Why did they do that?
I've been using Ermac
NRS isn't
since
that bright.
9, and I've been using him since 10. 9 and 10.
That's why you like 10 better than 11. Okay.
Yes, I like
respect
10
that. Okay.
way more than 11.
For me, the reason that I like 11 more than 10 is because, don't get me wrong, like some of the characters in 10 were pretty cool looking, because you had Farah and Tor, Takeda, all those newbies like kind of taking over the scene. But I was just kind of disappointed that Sindel wasn't there, Nightwolf wasn't, like the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the fact that the actor, what's his name, Kerry Tagawa is back as
yeah.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah, the original
That
one
was-
for Mortal Kombat.
That was one of the few reasons that I'm like 11 is amazing.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yeah, there's a lot of cheese in 11. So I can understand. I can understand.
And with Mortal Kombat 11, like I've had my gripes with the game, but I just
Yeah.
feel like there's too many safe options for players because when you use your fatal blow, if you miss it, you'll still be able to use it or whatnot. I'm just like, no, if you miss it, you lose it. You don't get it back again. No.
There's a lot of safe punishments in that game. Yeah, I agree.
And I did. That's what I did not like about 11. Granted, I was very solid at the game. It was just the fact that I
remember.
did not like that because in 10 MKX, you use up your options.
You
Hey,
did.
it's free real estate for me.
It's on you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you had to be smart with your meter management. Versus 11, you just have to stall, wait for your meter to come back, and then go for it again. I'm just like,
And there's options to roll away.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different versions of wake up.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. It's like a zoner's paradise. I'm calling you out, Cetrion mains.
Centurion.
I regret nothing.
Listen, you're talking to a guy that made Centurion before, but before she got nerfed.
You
so
already know.
Yeah, I know. But wait, hold on. So that and
you had to be there moments.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another one for me was because I'm a huge fan of Smash Bros. Like, before we knew that Sora was coming to the game, I said to myself, A, it was going to be the most disappointing reveal ever, or B, it was going to be the most insane reveal ever. And mind you, I got up early in the morning to watch the reveal.
Did you really?
I did, yes.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. Is the world going to be safe, or is the internet going to be on fire? Let's see. And in the trailer, when they showed the blade of Sora, like the Mickey Mouse logo on there, I was like,
Keyblade.
at first, straight up, I still couldn't even believe it. I was like, wow, Matsuhiro Sakurai, you SOB, you actually did it. Like, it's not easy getting anything from Disney. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Square Enix, too.
and another like be there moment is just, I mean, honestly, like some of the crazy matches that I've had online and just some of the hilarity that people rage quit all the time. It's pretty
I
damn
used to
funny.
see that in your stories so often. You're like, boop, rage quit.
Hey, they're gonna get called out. It's free real estate at that point. So
I mean, at least you're not showing usernames, so that's nice. But it's not like anyone's going to go after them.
no, they just look like idiots when they do it. But
It's funnier.
that's a different topic.
Got a question though.
Talk to me.
Do you compete in any online tournaments?
That's a good question.
I was considering doing it, but the thing about online is it's free real estate at that point. Because online, like, I understand that, again, not everybody is always going to have the greatest connection. Interferences happen. I understand that. But online, I personally don't like online for tournaments. Like for me at least, I don't like it online.
Okay, fair enough. Because if you're looking for tournaments to get into,
online,
I would highly recommend checking out Start GG and look for like online tournaments that you can be a part of. But most of them are very free to get into and whatnot. You just follow the simple rules and guidelines that they want you to do to get into the tournament and whatnot.
Very easy.
And that's where, to me, I feel like you'll get the most knowledge in matchups because now you don't have to worry about like the actual fighting games like rank system. Now you're playing with a group of people of any different skill levels that you've never played for, and that'll give you the knowledge to get better at certain fighting games.
Listen,
like with Mortal Kombat, very sketchy because I already know the online. Same thing with Tekken 2.
It's a nightmare.
Strive, you may have success with, and DNF Duel, you'll have success with.
Oh yeah, DNF Duel for sure.
KOF, it barely exists.
Yeah, I mean, KOF is one of those games that, again, it's popular for a short time, but KOF is huge in South America.
Yeah.
So the fact, like for example, let's say you don't go up against a lot of North American players because it's not popular. At least we have South America close by us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
So it's a South American and a boomers kind of game. Gotcha.
Something like that. Something like that.
It really is boomers.
But so yeah.
Okay. All right. So next topic: what are your gaming pet peeves?
Something you hate or dislike. What grinds your gears?
Like what annoys you in gaming?
Honestly, the thing I dislike a lot about fighting games is the fact that people have tier lists. The reason that I don't like tier lists is because, like for me at least, there have been some low tier characters that I've personally enjoyed more than high tier characters.
Right.
Because again, since I play Street Fighter V, like I don't play it as religious, but I play Street Fighter V, and one of the few characters that I enjoy, even though he's low tier, is E Honda. E Honda and Blanca, they're one of the biggest cheesiest characters, but they're low tier.
Yeah.
So, tier list, I'm not like, just try out the character that you like and see how you do with them.
Right.
And another thing I dislike is, how do I say this?
Explain it first.
Another thing I really, really dislike, and again, this happens a lot on chat on NK11, is the player that's, hey, you're not supposed to use the character like that. Why are you playing him like that? I'm just like, if I'm beating you,
gaslighting.
Adapt.
That's typical.
Yeah.
Adapt. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
If you can't handle Sub-Zero cheese, I don't know what to tell you. That's on you.
Yeah, just when the slide is gonna come, block low. When the overhead's gonna come, block mid or high. Simple.
Yeah, it's
learn the matchup.
It's not that hard, but they complicate it for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And
So can I read this?
Yes.
So my team leader of FGC Island, Herbs, he wanted to say FGCGabe hates when he loses to bottom 5 Jacko with the teabag emotion.
Listen, tell Herbs he's free real estate too, okay?
Real estate?
But actually, I will say this.
So you can see the teabagging in a GIF right over here that was custom made.
Oh my God. Listen, Herbs, I don't roll like that, okay? Chill. But
You just roll the schmicks.
But I will say this. I will say a good thing about Herbs though. I will say I remember when I played him in MK11, he was using Cabal. His Cabal is annoying. And I learned against Cabal players. So like even though he talks trash and he respects me a lot too, but at the same time like his character matchups I've learned a lot because of him. So at the same time I'm kind of like you SOB, but at the same time I thank you for it too. I don't even want to see what he's writing to me right
now. No. Some people are complimenting on the Jacko emote of him her teabagging.
Don't do it, guys. Just don't do it.
Don't worry. This is something on the side.
Well, luckily for you, Herbs isn't focusing on MK11 anymore.
Yeah.
He's mainly Strive.
So. Yeah, I've seen.
Your nightmare is saved. Unless you go to Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear, there's all sorts of nightmares, so I know.
Yeah, he's like, much love, homie, FGCGabe.
Yeah, whenever you come back to Flynn's for a weekly and whatnot, don't worry. I'm not gonna give you beef humanity like I did last time. I'll give you someone probably.
Listen, you did that on purpose. Don't lie, okay?
Yeah, I did.
Listen. It's funny because
I like brackets. That's what I do.
That is true.
I will be honest with you about Beefy. When I played him in Street Fighter, wrecked me disgustingly. And I was like, but because of him, I learned how to deal with Zangief. Just don't get too close to that SOB. Just kind of like get close, but don't get too close.
Yeah.
Ranging.
With Gold Lewis, however, I was like, okay, I'm gonna feel him out. I'm getting ready, you know, like I'm gonna like little by little try to find his weakness. I threw in the towel, okay, because I did not expect his Gold Lewis to be that good. Like I expect him to be good, but not like God tier good, you know?
Yeah, Beefy will shred you in the corner with Gold Lewis.
No shit.
Yeah, you gonna block? Okay.
No problem.
Chip,
Yeah,
chip, 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 chip.
Chip.
Until your risk meter gets high, then after that breaks, counter, and then, you know, he hits you with the super.
So he had another suggestion on who he can go up against. This guy's name is Rock Brownie Brazil.
Uh-huh.
He's a Gold Lewis main.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Another thickness player. The thickness is getting too much love, let me tell you.
Nah, FGC, he needs to go up against four-face buttons.
Oh, I have, and I've
I've watched this too at SuperCon.
at SuperCon, he wrecked me disgustingly, but I learned a lot because of him too. And I remember our set that we had too, and it was pretty toxic, but I had fun.
The funniest thing is four-face.
How was the Stride tournament at SuperCon? Because I know I had to leave to go run Smash. So how was it?
Honestly, for a small tournament, it was pretty fun. Like I'm glad that a lot of people actually showed up. Nah, for Smash Bros, it was like another level of just nuts.
Yeah.
But for Guilty Gear, it was pretty good. A lot better than I thought.
If it was a double elimination, it would have been more crazier.
Oh yeah.
But I'm glad we simplified it to single.
But for DNF Duel, youch. Just one person signed up, you said, right? Or something like that?
No,
we had more people signed up.
9, I think.
9, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. We were like
bad.
semifinals.
Yeah.
The fact that we wore shades, dripped out, ready to play against each other was the most iconic thing we've done.
Hey, you got to enjoy the moment, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We got to enjoy the drip too.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
So what other pet peeves do you have?
Like I mentioned,
Jacko, I'm kidding.
like I mentioned, like one of the first few things I dislike a lot is just gaming companies depending too much on DLC.
Yeah. I agree.
I can agree with that as well.
And another thing is, and this is, I don't know if it's as common as it is in Guilty Gear, but in places like Mortal Kombat and Smash Bros, lag switching. Please stop with the lag switching.
I don't see it often in Guilty Gear, actually, with my online experiences. And I've competed online briefly, maybe like 2 or 3 tournaments.
Yeah, but lag switching is something that ruins the fun for an online game.
Because for Smash GG, and you go through a Discord, if you have a complaint against somebody doing a lag switch and such, they'll do internet tests. You can request one just to see. Because worst case, it can be a disqualification, or worst case, the show must go on. But as long as you're able to talk to the person running the event, it could have some balance.
It could.
And plus, you can also record your clips because you have player history.
Yep.
Your replays on Guilty Gear, which is amazing.
No, I mean, that's again, if you're going to run a tournament, you have to make sure that it goes smooth without someone trying to cheese their way through tourneys.
Because no one's going to watch it unless it's streamed. Like, if the TO is watching it on a stream, then you can obviously see something going on. But if it's random parks or rooms for Guilty Gear, you already know no one's going to look at it except for yourself and then the other player.
Okay. Yeah, which is why it's best to, record your matches so that way you at least have proof of, hey,
I think someone might be trying to cheat their way to the... Yeah.
Sabotaging the game or slowing it down.
Yeah.
Because if that ping gets any higher than 3, shit.
What can I tell you? That's the beauty of online. It's either really good or it's really shitty.
And that's another thing. Another beauty of online is the fact that, especially with these new gen consoles, is that we're able to record our matches online and use that as proof of, okay, this person is either lag switching or whatnot, or you can rewatch your replays and be like, okay, what did I do wrong in this?
Right.
What can I do better next time? I should have punished this. I should stop doing this. So on and so forth.
That reminds me of something, bro. Herbs was telling me about this, but for offline tournaments like this, just to reflect upon it later on, he recommends bringing a USB flash drive, something that you can just record from your press a record button or screen share, then go to your media, send it to the USB flash drive, and boom. Yeah, I already have 3 clips I need to look at, and I've been procrastinating.
Yeah, that is something. because I remember some people were doing that at CEO as well, where they'll, like, when the match is done, they'll plug in the USB into the PlayStation, download their match completely, and then, just, review it.
It's homework.
Yeah, so that way you can look back at the replay and be like, okay, I should have did this better. I should have punished this, so on and so forth. So that way you at least have that content to review to see how can you improve your gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I mean,
I recommend it to everyone, especially if you're watching.
And
like, even if you're not going to be on stream, but as long as it's like being played on like a PlayStation 4, PS4 Pro, or even a PS5, you're able to record your match, save it to a USB, and then review it later when you're done.
Yeah, I suggest doing like recording it now, and after the tournament, like if you're doing it on stream, I would just do quick record, then come back later to it.
Yeah.
Because that'd be kind of awkward.
I mean, honestly, like, the more knowledge that you have, the more advantage you're going to have for yourself.
Honestly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm still like learning the game, and I feel good about it.
And again, that's where I go back to the whole tier list thing. Like, to me, low tier characters get underestimated a lot.
Yeah.
Simply because, he's too easy to punish. Don't try to learn anything about him. The more you learn about the game, the more advantage you're going to have, because there are some people that, like, for example, Go Lewis is low tier, even though he's improved in this patch.
That man got buffed.
But
Yeah.
the fact that he's a low tier that can literally do some crazy amount of damage.
I mean, when he first came out, he was kind of like
Season
low
1.
mid. Now he's about mid at best.
I agree. I agree 100%.
If you know how to use him, because a lot of people, you'll be surprised, don't know how to use Gold Lewis.
Oh, I know.
And lots of people don't know what it's like to go up against a really good Gold Lewis.
No,
It's
because
just
Like they don't
Prey.
have that matchup knowledge. Like, okay, they were not
Oh
expecting.
my god, commentating it is the funniest thing.
yeah, like Gold Lewis is, again, one of the first few characters that's not played that much, like Axel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not many people really know the matchup, as Herbs just said.
Yeah.
And Jackal, like, you're gonna run into some Jackals, but again, listen, the first three characters you're gonna run into a lot on Guilty Gear is Kai, Sol, and Biken.
I would say Leo, Ram, and
I'd say maybe, yeah, I would say
it's
Kai.
Leo, Ram, and maybe Kai.
I don't see many Leos often. I see more Bikens, actually. And then a few goofball Mays. And so back to the topics.
But so yeah, hey, the more knowledge you have, the more advantage you're gonna have.
Right.
Simple.
Any last pet peeves or any other closing remarks that you have,
Closing remark is
or anything you would like to ask us?
Okay. For those of you who play fighting games, go to your locals, man. You're gonna have a good time. Like, if you don't go to your locals, you're gonna miss out on. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna miss out on life, but you're gonna miss out on a lot. Because again, all the moments that I've had at Fighter Fest, and all the, like, friendly beef that goes on and whatnot, like, you want to make sure that you enjoy the moments of that. And I get it. Listen, life gets in the way sometimes, but hey, go to your locals, support it. And let's see, what's another thing I could say? I mean, just support your community. Like, whatever game you like, support your community. Nothing to it.
Okay. Waluigi, any closing remarks?
Gabe, it's definitely great to have you after. Always.
Hey.
Yeah, it's just basically having a conversation with us. Vendors, some people on the side that want to fill in. It's a great feeling, after all, you having a podcast experience as well, so it's good to develop that communication.
Oh, yes.
But, like, having you from Twitch chat the whole 2 years we've been doing this to now here, that's a remarkable improvement.
No, it's like
Very few people can do that.
That's a new milestone right there.
No, it's like
few people can do that.
it's like some people are like, "Oh my God, FGCGabe is real. He's not a robot." Yeah, I'm here. I exist.
Yeah. I know Silver has a story on this, and we mentioned it on Twitter, but if you ever just want to join in on the podcast, you can always just go into one of our links in our bios or the South Florida Instagram page, and you can apply.
Yeah. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, there is an application for you to fill out, and we will get to you shortly. There's that, and then, of course, there's also where I would invite people to be on.
Yeah. Come through.
And Herbs is saying we should have an org podcast. That would be hype.
Like an organization podcast?
Okay.
Like what? Like Island?
I mean, technically,
okay.
This is a South Florida Gamers Flynn's Island.
I mean, I could make that happen. It's just most of your members are scattered.
I'd say mostly international.
Yeah.
I mean, a quarter of us are South Floridian.
Listen, I won't lie to you. If there's ever a podcast of just the most toxic moments going on, I would die
Island
so hard.
Cold Front Wolf.
Whoa. That's way too many people.
That sounds
Yeah,
like
that's
a
a
whole
little-
One Piece like organization.
Nah,
basically.
Nah. I can only...
Oh, saying
leaders. Okay.
Oh, leaders. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank God. That was a mini heart attack.
Actually, there is one question I do want to have for you, Senpai.
Yeah.
Question: how was the tournament at CEO, but for Def Jam? How was it?
I was watching him throughout this whole time.
How was the tournament for me as CEO for Def Jam? Exciting, because it was my first time ever in life competing in the tournament of a fighting game that I grew up playing on the PlayStation 2 against other people, because I used to play this game religiously a lot with my friends.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
this was my first opportunity to play against people in real life, like next to each other or whatnot, and see what they got.
That's like instant nostalgia right there.
Yeah, and for me, like, I did good. I went 3-2. I did good.
Okay,
I
not bad,
was
not bad.
2 matches away to getting into top 8. 2 matches away.
God, it was insane to watch because they had like a muck up earlier. Like, you're already 1-1 from one match, and you had to restart the match over because it was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was a close call, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was recording this too.
And the more I think back on it, it's like I'm kind of mad. I was still salty that I got out at 13th place, because I really wanted to get in the top 8. Like that was my goal.
Yeah, it's.
But it was like,
Yeah, of course. Like.
but the surprising thing was the fact that I went in completely dry. I did not practice.
You
at all.
mollywopped some people.
Wow.
Like I bodied some people in that game. Like
I was just stunned.
I would say after my first 2 wins, my memory was starting to come back. Like
There was no frame data back then.
It was starting to come back, and all I needed to do was just polish it. And I didn't polish it. Like, I didn't practice for the game. I just kept winning completely dry. I'm like, I'm going to have fun with this. And then I would say my 3rd match, that's when I took it really, really serious. And then when I lost, I was just like, it got to me. It really got me.
I know. I was just like, oh, shit.
I was like, never fucking again am I going to come at. If they have this game again, I'm getting top 8. Guaranteed. Never again.
Listen, see,
Silver, just go Trejo.
listen. I remember the clip that you said that if you won, like if you were winning the tournament, you were gonna pop off. I believe that so much. Okay.
Yep. There was a man that went
yeah.
shirtless, like in
Oh
pools.
yeah. Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
I was witnessing this, and I'm just like, they allow this?
Yeah, they allow some crazy moments over there.
There was
Yeah,
nothing
like-
normal about E CEO.
Like, if they have Def Jam again for CEO 2023, I'm practicing for it. Like, whatever game that I'm going to be playing that they're going to have as CEO, of course, they may have Grand Blue. I may join in that DNF duel. I'll join in for that.
Oh, my
But
God.
Def Jam, I'm going 100%
Bro, I'm still laughing at because you didn't realize what the meta or what the rules were before we got the CEO.
in. No, I did not know the meta. I didn't know who was the meta characters to use. Didn't know the ban list.
Because you were going to go Sticky Fingers, and you're like, hold on.
Yeah, that character's banned.
Or Nightbreed literally stopped you.
Yeah, like there was like a bunch of banned characters, banned stages and whatnot. So I was like, okay, going off of this roster, let me see who I can work with. I'm gonna go with Ludacris. If not Ludacris, I'm gonna go with Capone. Either one of those two, because I can work with those two. And I'm just like, fuck. I could have won.
You had less than 5 minutes of training. That was the funniest thing. Because you trained at my place, and then you went to the kitchen at the house we were at.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of just like
The razzle dazzle is what I call it.
labbing, you could say I'd done, but it's not like a full session for me to like really polish myself, because the one thing that kept screwing me over was countering the strikes. I can counter the grapples, like when they're coming in for the grapple, I can counter those easy. All I have to do is just strike fast enough to get them. It's just when they're when they're like swinging, especially the haymakers or whatnot, I wasn't good at that. and yeah, and that's what kept screwing me over a lot.
Def Jam is like, it's one of those like hidden gem games that you're like, okay, now I understand the hype that exists. Like personally, I'm not gonna get into it, but just the fact that you watch it's pretty dope.
Yeah, like I had a good time, but I'm still salty. That's why I was like, they have this game again next year. I'm going all in, and I'm getting top 8 guaranteed.
No, I mean,
I'm guaranteeing that. Like,
Hey.
if there's one game that I'm going to work my ass off for, it's gonna be Def Jam.
You're just gonna be 11
because I
hours and
grew
hours.
up with that game and I played that game religiously. Like,
oh, I bet.
if I was if I was like 20 years younger, no, not 20. If I was 15 years younger,
Okay.
I'd have been godlike in that game.
I feel like everyone says that.
I mean,
That sounds generic, but I agree.
again, like again, regardless of age, you could always do good regardless of age.
True.
Of course, obviously, the younger you have, better reactions. But I've seen some players in their 30s that are pretty beast in Tekken and Street Fighter. Like,
Oh yeah,
age doesn't matter sometimes.
Oh yeah. It's all about the discipline that you have, the matchup knowledge that you also have as well, and really good reaction time. Which is why I said next year it's 100%. I'm not top 8 or that's it. I'm not trying to aim for 9th place or whatnot or get out of pools.
That's your goal. That's your goal.
It's
Of course.
top 8.
You're gonna make sure you get the top 8, and I respect that.
Yeah, like there's one game I'm gonna hit top 8 in, and it's gonna be Def Jam, guaranteed.
So a little bit off topic. Def Jam finally reached 1 million followers on Twitter.
Wow.
And they were trying to have an announcement for their fans, but it's been like a few years.
Hey, might be a sequel.
Doubt it. That's just cap right there. That's
it's
a whole ass helmet.
Listen, for me,
people on Twitter already debunked that, so it's just like I don't pay no mind to it.
like for me, when you had your last Mortal Kombat tournament, the fact that even though I didn't get top 3, I was in 4th place, because the only player that was able to beat me was Butter Punch. He beat me twice, so the fact that I was able to make it up there, it was like, okay, I'm improving. Just have to keep going at it. Nothing more, nothing less.
No, it'd be good.
Yeah, definitely what I'd like to say for closing remarks. It's great that we can still have a nostalgia trip, and you definitely feel more comfortable now. Look at you.
Exactly.
I'm proud.
I mean, we all gotta reach that milestone.
It's like I said before. Like once we start talking about certain topics, especially topics that resonate with you, you're gonna get comfortable, speak on it, talk out, and look what you did. Now you're not so nervous anymore as you was in the beginning.
Was I really that bad early?
Not really.
Was I?
No, you were not. You were fine.
Okay.
I didn't notice. Actually, I did, but it's not that bad.
Is that the bad?
AJ, you got anything to say? You can put the camera on you if you want.
Yeah. Fuck Destiny and fucking.
Not even an actual closing remark. Jesus. So based.
But that is a closing remark right there.
Bungie, if you're watching this is the love you get.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna get our free shit now.
Not gonna get free. Bungie's gonna remember AJ and be like, "That's the guy." Just don't let him play anymore.
Actually, they blocked me on Instagram.
No.
Yeah.
What the hell did you do? Actually, I don't want to know.
Because I was throwing a lot of shade in the comments because they need to make the game better and they're allergic to listening to the fans. So they're like, yeah, we're not gonna listen to this guy. He's saying things that we should do, but we're not gonna do it. So they blocked me. So yeah, I kind of peaked there. And I'm kind of happy about it, but at the same time, I'm kind of mad because
I can't wait till you throw shade at Genshin.
It's gonna happen.
You know what? Let's not even talk about Genshin.
The refunds are gonna be what's gonna be.
What can I tell you, man?
That's a good remark. That's probably the funniest remark I've heard.
Listen, what can I tell you? Genshin is like an empire now. Just we'll see how long that lasts.
Oh, it's anime crack. Is what it is.
I hope Genshin gets run into the ground.
What's
I hope so.
There goes your money, and there goes some people I know's money.
I love the game,
But
and same with Destiny. I hope they get fucking run into the ground so they can learn their lesson.
use a Genshin simp.
Damn, man.
I'm gonna still say that. You're not gonna let it die, bro.
Listen, I remember when AJ was like, every 5 steps I took, someone wanted a photo, and I was one of those people that asked for the photo. So I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh,
So
I
that's
didn't
what
know it was like that.
I mean,
Oh, God, that was funny.
Anyway, Gabe, thank you so much for being on this episode. It was finally glad to have you on.
No, thank you guys for inviting me.
Thank
Honestly,
you, brother.
Thank you for coming. It was great to have this conversation, and we look forward to you to see you in more tournaments. If you can't make it Flinch,
You are FGCGabe.
there's always
of course.
next level. Show them some love. Hit up their Guilty Gear nights. Their Tuesdays and their Thursdays night bi-weekly.
Bro, come through. I'm going Thursday.
You're going this Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
For those who
maybe.
want smoke, I am coming.
Listen, we need to finish our rematch.
Yes, we do.
We need to.
Yes, we do.
And I think Waluigi is bringing Four Face Buttons with him.
You're goddamn right. I'm dragging
Oh
him.
Lord.
I'm taking that
Four-Face.
man hostage.
Four Face. That's a legend right there. That guy's a monster too. So
The
it's like,
fact I'm neighbors with a legend is what makes this even funnier.
nah, and the thing about like Four Face, like when he was trash talking me, like I needed that push. like I needed that.
That's how he just usually plays with friends. Jesus.
No. Like sometimes you need that. Like,
He's actually this way with me too.
nah, that's.
He
hey,
treats me like shit too when I play Strive against him. Like,
that's why when you see a
But that's
dolphin,
just like
you get scared.
normal way. That's the funniest thing.
I just be in a corner and I just block low. I was like, and I just stay there.
That dolphin. The
But like
dolphin.
offline pop-ups are the best thing. I love it.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Like even if he's not recorded, you'll just see this man like pose in the funniest way.
And he's so iconic
It really is.
at majors.
Bro, I get the best photos of him. No one can change my mind. Am I wrong, Silverback? God, he's a hard
But once again, thank you guys for inviting me here.
Of course, bro.
Of course.
I
man.
appreciate it 100%.
Where can people find you on social media?
I don't use Twitter that much, so don't message me there. Facebook is like very minimum when I use Facebook, so I'm always on Instagram.
Okay.
All right, FGCGabe. Right?
Instagram or on PlayStation, just message me. Hey, I'm a pretty chill person, even though Senpai kind of disagrees sometimes, but I'm a pretty chill person.
Okay.
Hey, that
Okay.
Tana Shao Kahn started it.
Oh,
The Tana
okay.
Shao Kahn begun it.
Okay.
Hey, I don't lie, I promise.
Well, y'all, that concludes episode 59 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast.
Let's
You
go.
can catch the full episode on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or just Google South Florida Gamers Podcast, and you'll find all the audio hosting platforms that we're on. The video playback of this podcast will also be available on Facebook and YouTube later throughout the week. So definitely, if you missed out on any parts, you can always rewatch the whole thing all over again on either of those platforms. And with that being said, I believe our next podcast episode is possibly next Sunday, perhaps, with another guest.
Yeah.
I see.
So, be on the lookout for that. And of course, this Wednesday, we will have another episode. Myself, Waluigi, and AJ will have another episode of Otakus of South Florida, just talking about anything gaming and anime related. You can also come on through and
these are the
join
hot
us on the
takes.
discussion. It's really fun, and we'll be seeing y'all there. With that being said, y'all stay classy, and
Love
we'll
y'all.
catch you all
Bye,
on the
guys.
next
Thanks
one.
for watching.
Peace.